Hey folks, it's Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and I just want to show you a couple videos from security cameras of shootings where it really illustrates well why having a gun with an empty chamber is not just an awful idea, it's likely to get you killed as well. There's also a couple other things as well that you will notice. Lack of training, wrong gun for the intended use, and lack of proper timing. But let's start with the first videos as to see what's going on. The first one is, it's a gas station in Lamont, I think it's in California. Father and son working in this gas station, three robbers, and there's a confrontation. The father starts handing over his belongings, the robber keeps on hitting him, he decides to use a gun. Let's take a look and see what happens.
In court today shows the confrontation between three robbers and the father and son. The shooting and the men take their last breaths. We aren't going to show the entire video, but we want to warn you, even this edited portion is disturbing. Surveillance video shows Heriberto Aceves frantically going through his pockets, handing over items to a robber. After more than a minute of being pistol whipped and held at gunpoint, Heriberto Aceves pulls out a gun and fires at the robber. The robber fires back. Video shows the store owner fall to the ground and gunpowder filled the air as he fired in the direction of two other robbers who investigators say are Hammond and Myron Given.
Okay, so you just saw what went down, and very clearly you see the guy is struggling with his gun. I mean, and I've said this a million times, I'm going to be saying it again. Having a gun and not having proper training is like having a car and expecting to know how to drive without you even knowing how to do so, all right? You're buying a car, you don't know how to drive it, you're not going to be taking it out to a highway and using it properly. You're going to be getting hurt. The same thing happens with a gun. You just buy a gun, you shoot a few cans with a friend that knows guns supposedly. That's not training, guys. You have to pay for it, or someone else has to pay for it for you, as in the US government, but other than that, you have to invest your money and your time so as to get proper training. If this man had training, he would have avoided the two clear mistakes he made. First of all, having a gun with an empty chamber. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. There's things, this idea of the empty chamber gun started with what's called the Israeli carry, which Israeli carry basically means carrying a gun with an empty chamber, quickly drawing the gun, rattling the slide, and shooting. The Israeli carry has its name because of the Israeli country, right? Because of Israel. Now the thing is that when Israel first got started as a country and was a very young country with a very young army and very young police force, they ended up with a bunch of different guns from different places, and the only way in which they could standardize all that in the same training was using that method, which is empty chamber, racking the slide, pulling the trigger. That basically works for the high powers that they had, for the new Jerichos that they were making, or whatever double action, single action gun that they were getting their hands on. But it's a very specific circumstance that, because of God knows what reason, spread in the community, in the firearms community, as a viable idea, as a good idea, which is actually not. It's just a solution to a specific circumstance people in that situation were involved in that country with the guns they had, with those limited resources. But it's by no means an answer for an armed civilian, especially not today, especially not someone that can have whatever gun he wants to purchase. One more time, first video. Now I'm going to be pointing out a few things. Notice the footsteps. He's obviously nervous. He's handing over his wallet. See his feet moving around. He's getting hit with the gun as this happens. But notice the feet of the burglar as well. He's also clearly nervous because of the quick steps here and there. That's probably the son. He's being told to get on the ground. He's not complying. He's not getting on the ground. One thing that you're taught in an actual good shooting class is, if this is going to be over in just a matter of a few seconds and the only thing that you're going to be losing is the cash in the register, by all means, let them take the freaking cash. your life is not worth 200 bucks, 300 bucks. It's gonna be, even if you survive, it's gonna be much more expensive than that. So you have to use your head and decide. You know, having a gun does not mean that you always have to use it. Probably in this case, it would have been a good idea to just get on the floor and let them take the cash and be done with it. Now, if there's maybe your daughter involved, they want to, you know, take this another step, rape, or if you feel that even if you hand over the cash, some people will say that. I felt that they just were not going to be letting me live even if I handed over the cash, so that's why I brought the gun into the equation. That's a valid option, but sometimes you don't have to use the gun. Just let them take the cash. It's much cheaper even than shooting them. So, guy nervous, not complying. Look what he does there. He rushes towards the bad guy with his gun at the wrong moment. Many times you have to wait for the right circumstance, the right moment of distraction, right? It has to be involved. But when his attention is focused on you, you do not bring your gun out. Unless you're very close, unless you have, you know, the moment has to do something. But that was just not the moment. That was just awful timing. Again, one more time. Here's the son. Get on the floor. No, he keeps on. And the moment you don't start complying, right? The moment you don't start complying is the moment in which he focuses even more of his attention towards you. This guy is not complying. Maybe this guy is up to something, right? That's exactly the moment in which you do not want to bring out your gun. Maybe you get on the floor. Maybe when you get on the floor and he sees that you're complying, that you're being passive, that he's dominating you, maybe then he relaxes just a second and you have the moment of opportunity just to drop from the floor, start shooting, which is also something that you train, right? Just there, that's the fatal mistake right there. The fatal mistake was not getting the training. The fatal mistake was having that gun empty, and you see him racking the slide yet again, racking the slide, trying to, you know, get his gun to work. He gets shot numerous times. He gets killed. His son as well gets killed. Video number 2. This one is in India, I believe, of all places. And in this case, it's some people were commenting that it was a hit. You know, the guy in the jewelry store was getting hit. You know, it was an assassination because he's sitting there and he gets shot right away. Now he goes down. He starts racking the slide. You see how he racks the slide 1, 2, 3. And he's not getting anything done. So here we have a couple of things. We have the awful bad idea of the gun being empty chambered. Also that gun is quite small as well. One of the things you also learn when you take actual classes and you actually train with your gun, you see that no one in your gun class has a mouse gun. You know, you're not going to be seeing anyone serious with a little pocket pistol taking a shooting class. I mean, I've never seen anyone like that in any country I've been to doing any serious shooting. You know, those little pocket 32s, they're nice and all, and yeah, it is better than not having anything. But when something like this happens, where it's you against two guys shooting at one another right in front of your face, then all these little things come into play. Obviously, racking the gun because you have an empty chamber, just a very bad idea, just a fatal mistake right there. Maybe the gun, it's hard to see if he actually gets it to work, you know, because it looks as if he's trying to, you know, shoot there, right? So he goes down, he starts racking the slide 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then it looks as if he's shooting something, but he starts falling. He gets kicked in the head, and they even steal his gun as well. You know, so just lots of unfortunate circumstances there. One final thing: if you're that guy and you know that probably someone is after you, if there's a price on your head, or you have this feeling that someone may be coming after you, then by all means start wearing body armor as well. I mean, if I know someone is trying to get me killed, it's probably a good idea to invest in a bit of body armor, get a serious caliber gun, at least a 9mm, and a full-size gun. I mean, even a Glock 19 it's very compact for what it is, yet you can get a full grip on it. It's a fighting gun. It's not like a little mouse gun or pocket gun. Folks, just a few things there to keep in mind. If you like the video, share, thumbs up, subscribe. See you on our next video. Have a great day.